In today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to make these super cute heart pockets. You can make them plain where this part is just folded over. You can add any kind of trim you want if you want to make it a little bit fancier. They are the perfect size for gift cards if you want to give something a little bit extra. I am going to share all my secrets of how to whip these up quickly. I've come up with a few ways to cut down on time, cut down on hand cutting, and get these things made quickly. So let's get started. Now let's talk about the supplies. It is not as overwhelming as this might look. Basically, grab your fabric scraps, any embellishments if you want to put something on the pocket. This one I put the cute little balls on there. This one I just left it plain with the fabric folded. Both are cute in their own way. So fabric scraps and embellishments, we'll move that so it looks less overwhelming. We're going to use pink on the back and this heart fabric on the front. Then you can get this free template on my website. You're going to need fabric scissors. If you have them, I recommend pinking shears. I always use pinking shears for the curves. And I like these Fiskars Easy Action. Any kind of scissors they have where I squeeze like this, instead of having your thumb in that circle, it is much easier on your hands. Then you're going to need an iron and an ironing board, regular scissors, a turning tool to help get the points pressed out and the curves pressed out when we're turning that right side out. Then, if you want to use some of my little time-saving tricks, grab your freezer paper and grab a glue stick. I will show you how we're going to use those to make the pattern making process that much quicker. Let's get started. First, we're going to grab a freezer paper. If you have never used freezer paper for sewing, this is going to change your life. Okay, maybe not that dramatic, but I think it's pretty life-changing. So I'm going to grab a piece that is bigger than my heart. Never cuts very well for me. I don't know why, but it will be fine. Now, for freezer paper, the one side is shiny, and that usually goes against your food, and then the other side is flat. The beauty about using freezer paper is if you iron the shiny part onto fabric, it will stick to the fabric. So then your template is just going to be stuck to the fabric. You don't have to pin it. I love doing this for shapes that have a lot of curve to them or that are smaller or delicate. So I'm going to show you how to use this for the heart and the pocket. We're going to turn it the smooth side up. I'm going to take my paper scissors. I'm going to cut away some of the extra paper. Now, if you don't have freezer paper, you can just use this obviously as a regular pattern, but I like using the freezer paper. Then I'm going to grab my glue stick and I'm going to just put it around the edges. I'm going to glue this onto the smooth side of the freezer paper. Then again, with my paper scissors, I'm going to cut out the templates. It always curls up a little bit. I believe you can also buy freezer paper that will go through your printer. So if you do a lot of things where you're doing small pieces and you like this concept, have a look for that. That will also be listed in my Amazon storefront. You can find that link in the video description. There will be links for the scissors that I love and all that sort of thing as well. So now I have a heart template out of freezer paper. Now let's do the pocket. Let's put this on fabric so you can see it. So on the template, it shows you to cut on the fold. These two were made by putting the dashed line on the fold. So you're seeing a lot more of the top. If you want a deeper pocket, you can cut from this top line, which is going to be about 1/2 inch up. We're going to do that taller side so that we can compare these at the end. If you don't have a scrap of fabric that is long enough for you to cut on the fold, of course you can cut 2 of these. Just add 1/4 inch for your seam allowance, or know that it will be a little bit smaller than you expect based on the template. So I have my ironing board out, my iron on, and we are going to use this heart fabric for the large heart. So I'm going to get my freezer paper heart, and we are going to put it the dull side up, the shiny side down. Now, it is important to remember, if you're using directional fabric, you need to pay attention. So if we're using a solid color, you can turn this any angle to be as efficient as possible with the fabric that you cut. But if you're using directional, don't do what I did. So I decided to be efficient when I cut these little gnomes, and now they're all sideways. So that wasn't very efficient because I didn't like it, and I had to start again. So if you have anything with direction, make sure you have the direction going towards the top of the heart. It's not a non-directional heart print, it is a directional print, so we're gonna pay attention to that. I'm gonna put this down here, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of heat on there. Look at that, it sticks, totally cool. Now you can either cut 2 to the size, or I'm gonna show you one of my efficiency tricks. And if you've watched my baby bib tutorials, this is gonna be the same way that I do the towels. We're just going to cut 1 heart with fabric scissors. And I cut as close to that as possible, but if it's a little bit off, I do not worry about it because it is all going to even up as we sew all these pieces together. Then once you have that cut, you just peel that off, and you're going to be able to use this piece of freezer paper over and over again. I'm not exactly sure how many times, but I have used one at least 5 times. It will start to get duller, so it may not stick as well. You may need to make a few of these templates if you're going to be making a lot of hearts. But let me know in the comments if you make a lot and you figure out just how many times you can use that freezer paper. I would love to know. So instead of cutting 2 hearts for this heart, I'm going to use 1 cut from the template and then 1 that is 7 inches by 6 inches. And so we're going to be sewing that together before we cut the shape. Because it's so curved, we're going to have to cut the whole thing, either clipping the curves or cutting with pinking shears. So I'm going to do this, and that's going to make sure it all lines up perfectly. You can use the same fabric. I'm just going to use some of this hot pink for the back. Now let's work on our pockets. We have the pocket template, and it needs to be cut on the fold. So I'm going to take this pink, and I'm going to fold it so it's not much longer than to the point. So I put the point right by that edge, and then I just fold back until that is on the fold and press. You might want to put a pin or 2, but I usually just try and keep it nice and flat and trim that. Now there's lots of ways that you can dress this up. The embellishments that I showed you in the beginning, if you wanted to add trim, something like that. If you have an embroidery machine, you could also embroider a name on the pocket. I would do that before you even cut it. Embroider a name, make sure it's not going to be bigger than that pocket, and remember about your seam allowances. You could embroider something. You could use heat transfer vinyl with your Cricut or other cutting machine and do something fun with that. You could embroider, all kinds of options. You could then, add this pink ribbon on the top, add this. But I think this is going to be plenty with the hearts here and this pink, so we're just going to keep it basic for now. But let me know in the comments what you would put on here, what you're planning to do. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to just put 2 clips on here, and we're going to go to the sewing machine, and we're going to base about 1/8 of an inch from the edge to sew this pocket to the heart. I like to do that because then all 3 of these layers are already attached. It makes it a lot easier when you've left this section open and you have to have it turn under to close. Having to turn 3 loose things under, and then of course the other side too, is a little bit more daunting. It works a lot better if you sew this down first. So now the pocket is tacked down onto the front of the heart. Now we're going to take the fabric that is the back. This is a solid color, so there's no front or back, but if there was, we would be putting these right sides together. Then you're just going to put a few pins, usually right at the curves, just to make sure everything stays in place as you are sewing. I made this area pretty straight so that we have an easier place to turn and get that tucked under to finish the little pillow. But the rest of it is really very curved. And when you're sewing curves, you want to use a small stitch length. That is going to help that flip and be a better curve when you turn it right side out. So I usually do 1.8 to 2.0. So we're going to start down here. We're going to go all the way around and stop about here, leaving a few inches open for turning. Now, if you forget to do that, which I do sometimes, all you're going to do is go back and go back and forth here and back and forth here. Use your seam ripper and open that section up. And one thing that I sometimes do to remind myself to stop, put this little Riley Blake bird here where I need to stop. Now this time we are going to sew all the way around with a 1/4 inch seam. Just go slow on these tighter curves, and if you need to, because you feel like your foot or your guide is getting off of there too much, you can leave your needle down to lift your foot and just twist the fabric a little bit. Now, it's often hard to know exactly where to turn when you get into this inner point. So you can either just wing it, because this is not an exact science and no two hearts are the same, and turn wherever, or you can use a ruler and you can make a mark 1/4 inch down from here. So your ruler needs to be like that. Just make a mark like right there. That's a heat erasable pen. So now I know that when my needle gets to right about there, it's time to lift my foot and pivot. Now we're getting to the bird, so it is time to stop. And now we are done with the sewing machine. Next, we're going to grab our pinking shears, or if you don't have fabric pinking shears, you're going to take your fabric scissors and cut all the way around. And then you are going to have to take some smaller scissors and clip these curves. So doing little bitty cuts like this in, and making sure you do not cut that stitch line. I'm going to do it from this side because then it's easier for you to see the stitch line. But same with the pinking shears, you need to be very careful not to cut the stitches. I will tell you, you can't cut with the pinking shears in here. Every single time I've tried to go all the way into there, I have cut the stitches. If that happens, or if you end up cutting stitches anywhere, you have to reinforce that, because when you turn it right side out, you will get little frayed edges of the fabric, and you will be able to tell that you cut through those stitches because it's not going to curve properly and it'll basically create a hole. So I go to about there now with my pinking shears. Don't go all the way in. I'll show you how to fix that center part after we go around with the pinking shears. Now the next thing to remember is only cut with the pinking shears where you have stitched, which basically means you don't want to cut really close at that opening or we're going to have nothing to turn under. So I stop just short of the end here. This is why I often keep a lint brush right by, pick all that junk up. And then I'm going to take straight fabric scissors and cut the back the same size as the front. So you see we have a little bit that we can tuck under. Now we just need to work on this point. So you're just going to take your scissors and snip right into the point and maybe do 2 next to it so that that fabric will move and we can get a nice shape. Also make sure you cut off this edge on the bottom point so that we can get a nice shape there as well. Next step, we're going to turn this right side out. I always start just using my finger and pushing it along the curve to get that curve started and try and get that point. Sometimes it works better than other times. Then you can just use your fingers, or I like to use a turning tool. You can use a chopstick, you can use a closed pen, and gently push that along a curve. If you push too hard, it might come out because it might break those stitches, because we did clip pretty close to that. Then I'm going to press. I know we're going to stuff this, but it's going to have a better shape if we press these seams out into the shape before we add the stuffing. So I'm pressing it everywhere it is sewn first, leaving that section to do last. Then I'm just going to push that under so that that seam allowance is tucked under and the line is still good. So there we go. You could leave this flat if you wanted to. You could actually make this a little pocket coaster. You could just sew around, but we're doing stuffed pocket hearts. So I'm going to grab my polyfill and start stuffing. When I'm stuffing something like this, I always start by stuffing the area that is furthest from the turning hole and then work my way towards there. And I like to do small amounts at a time, because that way you can get it spread out and in all the little curves and nooks and crannies the way you want it, instead of having a big lump that you're trying to move around later. If you like doing stuffed projects, there's also a tool that is designed, it has this little hook, and it is designed for helping with stuffing. It's especially helpful if you're doing doll making and things that have really skinny and small areas. You don't really need it for this, but you can use it to just kind of help push things around. So I have this stuffed to about here. Now I'm going to start working on this other upper part. What do you think you would use these for? Are you going to use them for just holiday decoration? Are you going to use them as gift holders that can be decoration for whoever gets the gift? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. I also think these could be really, really pretty for like a bridal shower. You could do it for decorations, do white, use some satins, put some lace. I don't know, I've got a lot of ideas for these little things. Let me know what you're thinking. Now, before you get ready to close it up, make sure you have some stuffing in that point, which I don't. So you always squeeze that point, and then I'm just going to use this tool to kind of scooch some of that down there. And then you also want to make sure you're going to have enough that when you hand stitch this together, it's going to smooth out and be pretty even. That looks pretty good. Sometimes people don't stuff this enough so that it's easier to sew, and then they kind of have an air pocket by where they have turned everything. So then I just put clips. You can also put pins, either way, and that's it. Then you're just going to do a little slip stitch to close that up. I usually do that while I'm watching TV, and you're going to have a cute little heart. So we did the taller size than this one, so you can see that that pocket is a little bit higher, this one to this one. Let me know which one you prefer. The taller pocket would definitely be better if you wanted to embellish this in some way like that. There's not quite as much room on this. Otherwise, it's truly just personal preference. And remember, you can download the free template so that you can get to work on that. All right, so what do you think? Are you going to be making hearts? Are you going to make them for decorations for yourself? Use them for gifts? Other things? Leave me a comment and let me know. I'm always curious about how people are using the things they make from my tutorials. Happy sewing and have a fantastic day.